reaction to the one Japanese video, which is Japan's population crisis. Many of you guys are concerned about like, oh, Japan don't have a baby anymore. Japan have too many old people and no baby. What's gonna happen in Japan? Let's go!
Japan is having fewer babies than ever before. Meanwhile, the number of very elderly people is at a record high.
It's exactly like my father. We call it baby boom, like baby generation.
When it comes to living with a shrinking and aging population, the data clearly shows that Japan is ahead of other countries, but also that its path isn't unique, and neither are the potential solutions.
I didn't know that China and Korea is even worse. For me, right, shrinking population is not that big deal. But the problem is like we don't have a baby, because if you don't have a newborn baby, we have less power to produce the product, right? Because without producing our own things, the vegetable and the rice and everything, we have to rely on the other countries. I never seen like the rice from America and Australia and other countries rice in the supermarket. This is the first time in my life. So what is happening? Japan, the main production is the 농교. It's the agriculture. If Japan stop producing rice, Japan is no more Japan, because Japan is a rice country. The young people realize it. Oh my God, Japan is losing our rice. Oh my God, we have to like take over the farm. So a lot of young people try to make the farm by themselves. They try to produce the original Japan, made in Japan rice. They try to sell to the supermarket and everywhere. Do you know what is happening? Old people's power. We call it nenko joretsu. Nenko joretsu means like a nenko is like age. Joretsu is the older. So nenko joretsu means old people have to have a power. Young people have a less power. And slowly getting older, and you get the position. That's we call it nenko joretsu. No matter how the old people are useless in the company, they are still on top. They still have a power. They are the one they get the big income in the company. Nenko joretsu culture is very, very, very powerful for Japan society. Young people and the smart people have to be a manager, have to take over the power of the old people. But there are so many old people that they still don't want to give away their position. It's because in Japan, the society will expect you to work harder. People like my parents' age, my mom's age, even like my auntie age, still have that kind of mentality. We never change. We never grow. Only one country never grow past 30 years, past 20 years. Why? It's because basically the Japan society, the Japanese people's mentality of nenko joretsu is really strict and really powerful. So even like how smart the young people, like the education really good, and they just study abroad and they come back to Japan, they try to start the new things, new company, or like a new like a farm, you know, like, oh, let's restart the Japan of rice, the farm. But they cannot be successful. Why? It's because the old people push them down. Hey, you're already retired. They're already retired. They're already 65 years old. Retired. They're already 70 years old. They already retired. They still come to the company. Why? There is the position, we call it 相談役. 相談役. 相談 is literally meaning is like ask for the advice. Yaku is a position. So even the retired guy, a woman, still come to the company and do nothing. They are not producing anything. They just sit in the chair and they're waiting for the young people to ask the advice. You know, like I've been living like 70 years and 60 plus years. I've been sitting in this chair for this company for past 40 years of my life. You can ask me anything. And the company is literally paying money to him as well. That money should go to the young people who have a future, who take over the future, right? Those money will go to the old people. That's why it never changed. Japan never changed.
The 2025 problem is that everyone born in Japan's baby boom years between 1947 and 1949
Yeah, like my
is
father.
now in their mid to late 70s. The point in the average person's life where medical and care costs start to soar. The worry is that Japan's current and future working population is too small to bear the financial burden of the social, health and welfare system that Japan has come to expect.
Yeah, in Japan, the older people above like 60 years old, like they only pay like 10% of the everything, 10% of the insurance, 10% of the clinic, the hospital, the dentist and everything. So who's gonna cover that? And we are such young people, the 30% only. But who's gonna cover that? Young people. But where's the young people? Japan don't have a young people. That's why we literally need more of gaijin. We need more foreigners.
Japan's total fertility rate, that's the average number of children that a woman would have over her reproductive years, has been among the world's lowest for about 70 years now. Most recently, it's been at around 1.2, where 2.1 is what you need to maintain a stable population. Now, South Korea's birth rate has gone even lower in the last few years, down to around 0.7. But that's happened much more recently. What makes Japan interesting is that it takes several decades for a low birth rate to start having these big societal impacts. So the fact that Japan started that journey so long ago means it is the place to watch to see what this means for society.
A lot of people think about this and then people say like, oh, because of the money. There's not enough money. Yes, that's one of the reasons as well, of course. But I think people don't really find out like they are necessary to marry. It is necessary to marry. It is necessary to have a baby. Long time ago, back in the day, 20 years, maybe like, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they things like, oh, like having the children, marry and having the children, there was kind of like only one way for you to be happy or success or, like there's only one way or very limited way of your life. I think like people are having more choices of lifestyle. I think a lot of people don't really find out it is necessary to marry. It is necessary to have a baby for them to be happy. That's my opinion.
Japanese people have been able to live to extreme old age en masse because of the country's economic success, a generous public healthcare system, and a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, they are very healthy. Look at this. They are healthy. Isn't it amazing?
The Fuwaku Rugby Club organises its teams by age. The players wearing yellow shorts are in their 70s.
Oh my goodness, look.
Spring chickens.
They
compared
are
to
all
those in
70
purple,
years
who are in
old.
their
Can you
80s.
imagine?
副理事長の丸山克彦です。現在73歳。
73!
近くラグビーのプレーをし続けてます。
Oh
これから
my
も
god!
100歳でトライをすることを目標に頑張ります。
See?
Today, they're just training.
So I'm
But these boys are too tough for walking or touch rugby.
physically
They play the
and
game
mentally
full
still
contact with
young.
no holds barred. And some of the players,
Better
including Mr.
shape than me.
Maruyama, still have a surprising turn of speed.
僕も今73だけど、だいたい40代のつもりでいつもいるんだけど、緊張感を
Exactly!
持ち続ければ常に若さが保てると。
Mr.
Exactly!
Maruyama and his friends may be
He is not 73 at all. He is mentally and physically 40s.
fighting fit, but in official terms, they define Japan's crisis. The baby boomers were born just after the Second World War, and as young adults, they drove the country's economic miracle through the 70s and 80s.
僕の若い頃、みんなやっぱり希望を持ってたんじゃないかね。自分は将来何になりたいというものを明確なものを持ってたし、で今の若い人たちはなんかそういうのがもう足りないんじゃないかな。
He say like, when I was young, I got a full of dream and achievement and challenge. But nowadays, young people, they are lack of that. No, Grandpa, no! You don't understand at all! You don't understand the young people at all! Because you guys are too powerful. Baby boom grandpa are so powerful. That's why we cannot challenge, okay? A lot of like old politicians or like TV people or like the university people, old people say judge us, like young people say like, oh no, these young people don't have a passion like compared to our age, like. Because of you guys! Because of you guys are too powerful, okay? That's why that even like young people try their best, you guys will still push us down. That is the reason we cannot challenge.
In 2024, only 720,000 babies were born in Japan. That's a 5% decline from 2023 and the 9th year of decline in a row. It's also the lowest since modern record keeping began in 1899. Looking at the queues of couples lining up to have their picture taken in front of Tokyo Station as the sun goes down, and you'd think that marriage must be booming here.
So many
But look
marriage
closer, and about
couples
half
in
of the
Tokyo.
couples are visiting.
But most of them, they are either Taiwanese or they are either Korean.
Kanako and Takeshi got married on paper in 2024, but have come to the 2,000-year-old Okunitama Shrine in the Fuchu district of Tokyo to make a proper show of it. Their baby is 5 months old and is the only guest. To save money, they're just having their pictures taken rather than a big ceremony.
その中で結婚式披露をやる人っていうのは経済的な理由でできないとかやる必要がない希薄化されてだいたい全体の半分ぐらい。
Statistically, Kanako and Takeshi are likely to have a second child. The overall fertility rate in Japan, the average number of children born to a woman in her lifetime, is a stubbornly low 1.2.
1.2! And marriage is 1.9. The US is 1.62. They cannot have a wedding. Wedding is because of the money. In Japan, if you want to have a proper wedding ceremony, it costs like a 3 million Japanese yen at least 30,000 USD. My friend costs like 100k USD for the wedding. And you know what? They divorced in 6 months. So I think like Japan overall, right? It's really like negative cycle. We call it 負のサイクルだよね.
The sad reality for Japan, and in particular for Japanese men, is that we're not looking at a collapse in the desire for wedded bliss. The problem is that Japan's 30-year tussle with stagnant wages means that there's now a surplus of what some, perhaps cruelly, describe as economically unattractive men.
If the guy cannot pay for for himself, right? How he can get a girlfriend? How he can get a wife? And too much responsibility, right? 40, 50, 60, 70. Oh my goodness! Look at this! Our wage barely change. Look at this yellow. Past 30 years, they never change. How can be it possible?
家賃が高いわけですから、そういった、大都市圏生まれの若者たちが結婚しようとすると生活水準が上がる見込みがない。
それだけの所得がある人、経済的な余裕がある人が結婚式をやるってことです。経済的な余裕がなければやらない。これも一つの要因になってます。
If the wages go up, the price of everything will go up. Is it bad that the wages haven't gone up much? That's bad for me. The wage never changes. Like something is wrong, because like in Japan, the price of the everything is also literally is going up. Price is going up. Recently, right? It's just like my feeling there. Okay, a lot of Japanese women choose the foreigner guy to get married, and once married, they move outside. They move to outside of Japan.
The only way for Japan to make it past the 2025 problem in comfort and without social collapse is by allowing greater levels of immigration. Vidya is
そうだよね.
Japan has opened up on immigration in recent
Actually, right, like immigration things, right? A lot of like Japanese people like on the X and on Twitter say like, oh my God, we should not like accept like more foreigners. Like Japan is not Japan anymore. Blah blah blah. Yes, but it's just one of the one of the things in the history for me, because if Japanese people don't have children, young people, right, we have to have a foreigner, more immigrant for help. You know, we need the people to work for Japan. You know, like we can't say like, oh my god, like it's too many foreigners in Japan, no good, blah blah. No. We need a foreigner, right? But just a very important is like, if the foreigner come to Japan and move to Japan, like it's very important for the Japanese people to like maybe share our culture and share the Japanese people's things to them is very important. Sharing, so that you know, like they will understand.
If we look at the most recent data, fewer than 5% of people in Japan were born overseas, compared to figures above 15% in countries like the UK, US, and Germany.
If immigration does remain comparatively low and marriage and childbirth never recover, Japan is staring into a long and potentially painful old age. The country's infrastructure is about to feel an unprecedented strain. Extreme old age means Japan needs more nursing homes,
みんなが渋谷にいるからダメなんじゃない
more carers, and more
Why?
money to support all
みんなが
this,
渋谷に東京
simply
にい
to
る
keep
からダメ
living
なんじゃない
standards where they are. It's a
I
massive
say the big
headache.
problem is like
Even after all these-
everybody in Japan, like the too many people in Tokyo. That's the problem. Imagine like a more foreigner like love to move to the countryside in Japan, and then they try to start farming. They try to start a new job in the countryside, and then the countryside viable economy will go higher. That's what we want. That's literally what I try to do in Japan. We want more foreigner to come to countryside, not Tokyo. Why everybody's stuck in Tokyo? That's the problem. If everybody's stuck in Tokyo, right? Like no enough workers, and then service goes bad, and then it's become really messy.
But in China, the same period has been dominated by a different story, one of unparalleled economic growth.
China is coming to the end of a 3 to 4 decade boom. And one of the reasons that it's starting to slow down in the domestic economy is the demographic headwind from the slowing growth in the population.
45 years ago, the Chinese Communist Party introduced its now infamous one-child policy
Right.
that has artificially accelerated
Only
China's
one
demographics
child per
onto a similar
family.
path to the one taken, willingly or unwillingly, by Japan.
The reason the Communist Party introduced the one-child policy back in 1980 was because they were worried about a booming population at that time.
Booming
And they thought they
population.
didn't have the resources to feed and clothe and house that population. As China developed, the population growth naturally declined on its own anyway. So you had this sort of dual effect of the one-child policy and
One-child
a natural
policy.
decline in the fertility rate.
Oh
While
my
countries
God.
like China and also Japan and Korea are experiencing particularly acute versions of this demographic crunch,
Japan's experience is a warning to the rest of the world. Demographic decline is on many national horizons. And yet, in spite of the mounting economic problems, Japan has done an excellent job of maintaining social stability. Good health, the globally competitive-
Oji-chan, you guys are playing sports and you say like, oh, I'm 73 years old, I'm so healthy. Oji-chan, after sports, like immediately drink the beer. Nana beer, hi, otsukare, o to. Ah, beer ga oishii. What is the point for your health, guys? I mean, I know like you want to take care of your health, but also at the same time, maybe you want to be happy, right? Beer is bad.
When the rest of the world catches up,
Every
it may come to
single guy
realize that
must
despite all of
drink
its failures,
beer.
Japan's experience
Isn't it crazy?
is actually what success
Every
looks
single
like.
10 of the 70 over years Oji-chan, they have to drink beer. Thank you so much for watching my video. ビデオを見てくださってどうもありがとうございました。If you like my video, then please follow all my social medias, the Instagram and TikTok and Twitch live streaming and also YouTube and everything. Only the place you can literally communicate with me directly is live streaming. Please come and watch my live on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. また次の動画で会いましょう。バイバイ